So it's been a few weeks of quarantine and you're looking a little scruffy. However, the problem is you can't get to a barber because, well, quarantine. Good news for me though is that I've been cutting my own hair for about 5 years now, and I do a somewhat decent job. I haven't really had any complaints about it yet, so that's something. So today I'm going to show you how I cut my own hair, and this might give you some tips on how to do it yourself, provided you have at least somewhat similar hair to me. First of all, get yourself a good set of clippers. They can be really not expensive, around $30 or so. I prefer Wahl. Wahl makes some pretty good stuff that lasts a long time and does a good job at clipping. Never get Conair. Conair is crap. Now, the first thing that I start with is by wetting down my hair. Now, there's a few reasons why I do this. One is that it makes it easier to comb the hair and move the hair in place so that you can cut only the areas you want to at first. It also helps the hair stick together better, so when your clumps of hair fall to the floor, they're not all in like little tiny pieces and it's hard to clean up afterward. It also helps it from getting all itchy and stuck to your skin and all that nonsense. And it's always a good idea to rinse out any product you may already have in your hair, so you don't gum up the clippers. Now, dry it up just a little bit with a towel just so that it's not dripping all over you when you're cutting your hair, because that's just going to be annoying. But make sure it still remains at least a little bit damp. Now, since I have such bone straight hair, I have to kind of move it out of the way and kind of push it all in the center into a glorious faux hawk of sorts so that I can just focus on the sides to start. It's a good idea to clean your clippers after every cut, but I think I was in a bit of a rush last time, so I'm having to do that now. Yes, get Wahl Precision. Love that thing. I think I only paid $30 for those clippers. So for the first part of the cut, I'm going to start with a number 4. And that is for the sides, and it will gradually go down as we kind of taper it down to smaller sizes the lower we go on my crown or head shape. I'm not a barber. I go in straight upward motions, going along the sides just to the top of my scalp and not eating into the very top of my hair. We're just trimming the sides. Keep doing this on the sides of your head, only reaching towards the top around all sides. Make sure it's nice and even going all along your crown. Once you've evenly gone along the sides of your head with the number 4, it's time to move down to the size 3. Make sure you clean off the hair in between. For the number 3, we're going to be following the same pattern and motion, but we're going to be stopping a little bit lower on the scalp. Just about an inch or two below where it starts rounding off to the top of your head. Once it starts looking even on your sides, you're going to want to move on and kind of clean up around your ears while you've taken the number 3 extension off. For that, I just use the edge of the clippers and sort of guide it around and clip out any long hairs that are jabbing into my ear. Now comes the tricky part that everyone is afraid of, and rightly should be: trimming the neck. Now, it takes a little bit of use and practice to get this right, but use a mirror and very slowly guide your hand and make sure you have a good vantage point on your neck. Make sure you're good at working with mirrors, aka working backwards. Since the back of the head is very difficult to work with, I don't get too fancy with this. I tend to just make a nice clean line and then do a light feather with either a 1/2 inch size extension or maybe the number 1. This is just by making quick upward rotational movements, feathering it out just to sort of make a tapered edge. So it's not just a hard line, because those just aren't too good looking. It's time to move on to the top. Now, I'm not very brave using scissors backwards in a mirror. It's just never worked for me. I've tried it multiple times. So what I do is I take the number 8 on the clippers and use that. Yeah, I just use that. It works out far better than using scissors in my experience. Now, the movement you choose with going backwards with the clippers all depends on how short you want it. I really just want more of a trim up on the top of my head rather than a much shorter look, but that depends on you. 8 will also cut it. So, since I only want it to be a little bit shorter, I sort of tilt it at an edge there so that the very tip of the clippers is touching and combing my scalp, whereas it's not fully laid flat. That way I get generally a little bit of a longer cut. And you have to do this a few times over and over again just to make sure that it grabs all the hair. This will take a few tries, a few times, just to make sure that everything's even. And keep in mind that it'll probably take a little bit longer if your hair is longer. Now, I know that most barbers are probably cringing by watching me do it this way, but just cut me some slack. I'm not a professional, and this has been working for me so far. Now it looks like we're pretty much done, so before I put everything away, I like to put a little product in my hair just to make sure it actually looks decent before I call it quits. Yeah, not bad. Now, let's say it's your first time back out in civilization and you want to ditch the beard. If you've never grown a beard this long before, let me save you some trouble. And don't go and shave it with your normal razor. Use the clippers to trim it down before you go yanking on that thing with some razors and causing yourself a world of pain. Use the clippers while they're out. Get it short enough so that you can finish the job with your regular razor. Now, for the closer shave, I like to use Harry's products, because they tend to do a good job at not cutting up my face to oblivion, and they smell good.
If you want to try it, the link is in the description.
And there you have it. Congratulations, you look like a child again.